Welcome to Backseat Gaming. Hello, I figured out the Big Crush option. Welcome back to another episode of Backseat Gaming. Good morning, Kings. I think we have a fun video today. So I'm going to do myself a little bit of a challenge. So as you saw in my thrifting video, I thought it would be fun to try to go hunting for some games, poke around thrift stores, maybe some antique shops or something like that. Heck, maybe there's even some mom and pop video game stores nearby. I don't want to just waltz into like a GameStop or something like that. But the idea is that whatever we come across, we'll try to, first of all, we'll see if we can buy it. I'm going to start myself off with a budget of $10, if that sounds good. If we can do this challenge for $10, that would be ideal. The idea basically being like, let's find a game, a retro game, and then see if we can clear it within 24 hours. Essentially, we have a day to beat said game. And it's quite all right if I don't own the console. I mean, I don't have a Gameboy Color on hand, for example, but I do have this little guy right here, which currently has a copy of Jurassic Park with a Super Nintendo loaded up onto it. We're here confronting our childhood demons, as you know, in the Lowe's parking lot. I guess I'll give you some quick background. My current line of work is that I just do delivery apps and stuff like that. So essentially, in between orders is typically when I'll like film or edit my YouTube videos and stuff like that. So right now it's pretty early in the morning. It just turned 9 o'clock. I'll give you guys the update on where my next order takes me, and then we'll get the search started from there, if that sounds cool with you guys. Honestly, I never thought even to just check the Walmart where I usually work at, see if they have any retro, computer games even. And looks like so far, I'll be honest, guys, spoiler alert, they do not. I would not say any of these are considered retro. I don't think they count, unless we're down to play like the greatest hits by Creed. It's not really quite a game. We could judge the collectibles, I guess. Honestly, there's not really even much to poke fun at. As a matter of fact, that last Ronin figure right there is pretty sick, actually. Tell you what, if we get to 50 subs, we'll go ahead and pick this up to celebrate and we'll build it. It'll be like our fun little bonus video. That sounds good to you. All right, so we're done with our order. I went ahead and actually checked Walmart out of pure curiosity. Like maybe they have some games and stuff, but no dice. Walmart does not carry a single retro / computer / whatever type of game that I think would count for this challenge. I don't 100% remember where this delivery goes to. I think it's pretty local. We'll see. But I think afterwards we might have a chance to like stop by like a local antique shop. There's a pretty cool pamphlet I love me a good pamphlet. It's a little bit slow, like I said, but thankfully this order was pretty solid. So I think it'll give us some flexibility to go out and have like a little mini adventure or something. But update basically is that the hunt continues. A little bit out of budget. Could ask my brother for my 3DS back though. Oh my god, I guess these would kind of count, but there's nothing really here that's calling to me. Although it is pretty wild to think that the Xbox and the PS3 are considered retro now, honestly. Here's a couple right here. They're all old-fashioned like war games, the random Justice League superheroes. I guess I could pick up a copy of Sims Fashion. Oh, shoot, wait, what is this? Oh, it's like those Burger King Pokemon cards. It's kind of a cool find. Upstairs we go. Wow. This place smells like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland. That makes me like it by default. But what a view. Let me see. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think these are Skylanders. Remember when Skylanders happened? They gave up on Spyro for a little bit, and then they remastered him. And now people care about Spyro again. But I can't tell. They look like they're kind of fake, but maybe they're just aged. And you have randomly linked shield right there. And a side note, if you have a flick comb, like they look like switchblades, same type of little handle, but instead of a blade, they have a comb at the end made out of stainless steel. If you have one of those, please P.O. box me at this address. Well, because we're children, let's go ahead and walk on the magic bridge. Oh, I think this leads back to the entrance. We'll come back here. Goodness, I thought it was a real person. That's where your teacher lives after she goes after class is over at the end of the school day. Coca-Cola done put you out of business. These are great. I'm a fan of the Korok myself, but the Victrola lamp is pretty cool too. Unfortunately, it looks like no dice. It was a lot of fun to browse though, but I'll update you guys in a second. I don't want to get copyright striked. So that was Gums. A lot of fun. They have a cafe coming soon. The owner thinks that it's probably going to come around the summertime, so come visit. It's down here, and I think I don't know if it's considered Cypress or Long Beach or Lakewood or what. Give me 1 second. Gums is in Hawaiian Gardens, but anyways, it was a great little mall of antiques. I really like the whole aesthetic they got going on. It kind of reminds me of like if you've ever been to Fry's Electronics, I've been in California, but I think they have a few locations elsewhere. They always had like this theming to the store that was always really cool. Like the one we had here, it used to be in the City of Industry, and it had like these gears. Like it had like a very like mechanical workshop type of aesthetic for the whole store, which I really miss. Nowadays every restaurant, every business wants to be super gray, monochrome, unappealing. In case they have to like sell the property, they can just pass the building off to the next owner. And so it's really appreciated, I think, when a business has personality, really, like, to the actual architecture itself. But yeah, again, they got a cafe coming this summer. It's a great little spot. Come hang out. I really enjoyed my time in there, and it was great browsing and everything. Hopefully, I got some fun footage for you guys. I really have a good time in antique stores, but we didn't find any games really. We found a couple of mostly stuff from like I think it's the sixth gen, like the Wii and the PS3 and all that other stuff. But nothing that really stuck out to me that appealed for my purposes. I think I came across like an Atari cartridge maybe at one point, but I was kind of like, no, that doesn't seem too fun. Didn't really call out to me. So no dice for the challenge on this one, but had a great old time. I think it'll be real fun like to show you guys what I recorded. And yeah, I definitely invite you guys to come check out Gums Antique Mall of Collectibles. That's my business voice announcing the full name right there. I feel like it was a pro. But we're gonna get going here. We gotta get back to our next order. We'll see if we can hit up one more spot. Still, maybe like a thrift store or something. But if not, we'll have to just give this a shot tomorrow. And that's how it goes. Still got other responsibilities. Still got other things to work on, including this YouTube channel. Technically, I still got to do some stuff for this channel. So we'll see. We'll see how today goes. All right. So now it is day 2 of our hunt. A bit slow for orders so far. So I decided actually, what we're going to do is we're going to head to a place that you probably know. It's a little bit of a chain. It's called Book Off, which when it came to me, I was kind of like, of course, why didn't I think of this? Like, I think for this challenge, it would be unfair to go to like a GameStop or something like that, because that's, yeah, you're going to find retro games and stuff like that at a GameStop. I did see a few mom and pop like local spots for games and stuff like that. I think that could be fun to visit in like maybe a different video. I don't know if it quite counts, but I feel like Book Off has a little bit more of a vibe of like I'd like I guess like a chance to encounter like something fun, like something that you wouldn't expect, like the Atari game that I saw at the antique store. That's kind of the stuff that I'm looking for, and not like 15,000 copies of FIFA or like Nintendo Switch games, which cool, but I have no means to play those. And not to mention too, it's like it kind of goes against like that whole like hunting for something type of vibe. I think that's kind of the fun part of it, is stumbling into things. But Book Off, I think it's kind of a fun backup option. I wanted to kind of clear this like sooner rather than later. So I think that's what we'll head to next. We'll see what's up with Book Off. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have our winner. This looks like fun. All right, we're heading out of here. I had a really good time, actually. I think I've only been there maybe briefly once with friends. So that was my first real visit to a Book Off. But I gotta say, for a chain thing or whatever in the mall, I'm pretty impressed. All right, so here's how the Book Off adventure went. It was pretty cool, actually. I would say, like, honestly, low key envious, but mostly just like pretty happy that I think kids have a place to like shop at, because it's in the mall. Yes, typically, like when you don't know where the spots are for all the fun stuff to buy, like nerdy stuff and all that, that's typically where you start. Is something like a mall. So I think it's real awesome that kids can just walk in and there's all sorts of like great movies in there. There's music in there too. It's not as emphasized, but there's stuff in there. And then there's just tons of great books. I actually managed to find even like a friend's early birthday present ahead of time, because they had this like behind the scenes for the Gremlins. Came from Japan, but so I don't really know what any of it is or any of it says. But the photo print's really nice. It seemed like a fun little booklet, reminded me of him, so I picked it up. Not a bad price. They have a lot of good stuff in there. Criterion movies that they had priced at like $30 a copy for whatever reason. Like that's kind of what they cost new. So I'll pass. But really, really excellent selection. Lots of rare collections and stuff. They had like limited edition handhelds and things like that. And what was really, really cool was they had a lot of stuff just straight up from Japan. So lots of like Japanese, I mean, obviously based on the game that we picked, lots of Japanese, like Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64 stuff I saw there. Not too much in the way of like PlayStation, GameCube, like stuff like that. Like not too much. Like they had a little bit of a tiny section. Most of their stuff was more modern, like PS4 and Nintendo Switch and all that. But they had some real gems in there. I almost went with a couple of options. Walked away with a nice copy of Hamtaro for the Game Boy Color. Now, I don't have a Game Boy Color. It was a whopping $9. So we made it right into the budget. Congrats. Okay, challenge initiated. But I do have my good friend Pierre C, and he's going to like hook me up so that I can play it on this little guy. So that's going to be real handy. I'll be able to play it like on the go and whatnot. So right now it is, let's see here, it's 4:00 in the afternoon, which is to say that we have until 4:00 tomorrow to beat Hamtaro for the Game Boy Color. And thankfully I looked it up. It does appear to have an English translation, so might as well take advantage and play that again. I don't have a Game Boy Color. I'll be playing it on my little handheld, so there's a little bit of leeway here, but let's see if we can clear Hamtaro in a day. And If we can, then we'll call this challenge a success. Well, good morning. It is now the next day. I did not get a chance to play Hamtaro for the Game Boy Color yesterday. It's currently about 8 in the morning, so we have until about 4 o'clock today to see if we can get through this whole thing. Luckily, there's an English version of this game, like Hamtaro Hamsters Unite. A cute name, it's what it's called, I think. So we won't be completely lost in like a Japanese translation. Got my little device on me. We have still a decent amount, like a good, I think 8 hours to get through this whole thing. Fun fact, believe it or not, this was like supposedly the last Nintendo published Game Boy Color game. Came out pretty late. It's like in '02 or something like that. I got an order right now for work. See if we can get a little bit of time in right now. But otherwise, we'll see how this challenge goes. So what do I think about Hamtaro Hamsters Unite, or Hams Unite? Sorry, I got the subtitle wrong. Well, let's not beat around the bush. Unfortunately, this challenge has been a fail, technically. Basically, it boils down to it. I just, I underestimated this game, I think. I thought it was going to be some type of like simple, like platformer, you know? That's kind of why I went for like a Game Boy Color game. And so like I was expecting something that like I could get done in a few hours, which I think I could on a normal day. Maybe I should have done this challenge on my day off instead. But we're definitely going to hit that 4 o'clock deadline without having done anything in the game so far. But I thought it would be fun to talk about like a little brief, like how the first mission or whatever with the game went, because I thought it was really adorable. This is a really charming game. I'm glad I stumbled across it. It kind of gives me that same vibe I was talking about of like when you buy like a record at the store and you just thought like the cover looked cool, or even with games or a movie, you know, like you just thought the cover looked cool or interesting or fun. And so you just on a whim decided to pick it up. Yeah, it's just something about the fact that was that type of find, I think made it a lot of fun. So here's how the first mission of Hamtaro went. So I did try to give my live commentary as I was playing through it, but honestly, between work and stuff, I find it a little bit hard. So I'll do my best to kind of give you like, just like, I guess like the recap of the first mission in Hamtaro. But essentially is like the premise of the game is that you're supposed to just bring all your friend hamsters back to the clubhouse. You guys are all going to hang out and kick it. Of course, this is one of those games where you get to name your main guy for some reason, which is always appreciated in Pokemon. There we go. And now we can force the cute little hamsters to say something that they would never say. They would never call my cute little guy fraud. And so because I'm incredibly immature, I just want everyone in the game to it just comes off really funny whenever they call out his name. So our little fraudster here, you get a surprising amount of freedom. Like straight out of the bat, they introduce you with a bunch of catchphrases that is kind of like the, I guess, like power up or the ability of this game. You collect the catchphrases, like you're supposed to collect all of them. There's 85 of them, which is when I knew like this whole 24-hour challenge would be impossible. I should have researched this, I think, a little bit more ahead of time and realize like how much time this is going to take up. Not to mention, you got to find 12 of your hamster buddies too. So there's also that. But in the tutorial, you'll get a couple of phrases that like, they're basically like the main four, which is you get to talk to your hamster friends. You get to sniff for stuff around you, like items and stuff like that. You get to roll, straight up Sonic the Hedgehog bonk into things. And then the other one is just straight out, like you get to dig and place, all very traditional hamster abilities, of course. Just the presentation in this game was spectacular. Like I really vibed with the music. I mean, I like chip tunes, but you know, listening to like synth music on the Game Boy and similar sound chips and stuff like that, it can get kind of grating. But I honestly didn't mind it too much with this one. Not to mention too, like I was expecting like real basic pixel art, but just the animations and everything, like you could really tell this was like a Game Boy Color game like later on in the generation because it looks great. All the little critters and the stuff are adorable. They're cutely animated. Why is the hamster twerking so cute? If you're a kid, you're definitely going to have a good time with this. But even as an adult, I could see myself finishing this up. And it's a real good, like, it nails like the whole like handheld vibe for sure. It's very much like a pick up as you please type of game. Once you're done with your tutorial and you've got your 4 main abilities, Again, your job is to find your friends and to collect more abilities. So, of course, naturally, I think I mentioned earlier, I was kind of surprised at the amount of freedom because, you get the girl hamster uh, that's like kind of like, chase me, friend. But you really don't have to like immediately go after her. Like you can just kind of walk around. Everything's if there's like an opening anywhere, you can go in that direction. And there's all sorts of like fun, like gameplay things to encounter too. Like they do a really good job with that, where it's like simple, a kid can understand it, but it's also like satisfying to figure it out. I remember specifically, I couldn't quite figure out how to enter the grass, so I kept trying every ability, and then later on, I encountered a glint in a similar opening in the grass. It turns out it was a scary snake. Oh no. Or like for example, there's like this like drywall circle on the wall that was very clearly intended to be bonked. So I didn't do anything except cause the ceiling to fall, but it was really satisfying regardless, even though nothing happened. And just I like it when games like let you like it's like kind of obvious but kind of not, and so you just get the satisfaction of figuring that all on your own. But on the way there, I got lots of catchphrases from hamster friends. I didn't expect the pigeon to be spitting wisdom, but this is true. Please apologize to girls if you upset them in any way. Some from not hamster friends, but still, it's real fun when you get like a catchphrase in your journal, and it'll automatically pop up on any screen that you're able to use it. So some of these I was even able to use like right away. See, that's game design right there. I just learned that you're supposed to apologize to the girls when you're mean to them. Just launched a bunch of spiders at the girl, and I've just put the math together. That's it. Overall, it's a really fun little cute game, like really adorable. I have a soft spot for that kind of stuff. Like I'm a big fan of like stuff like Karopi. I grew up, watching a little bit of Hamtaro. I saw it in mostly in Spanish. I didn't have cable growing up, so I saw the cartoon, and I have just like distant memories of watching it like early in the morning. It's just like the show. It's adorable. You get to be a cute little hamster. They do a good job of nailing that aesthetic. Hey, I just earned some rocks. I really like it when games like you collect stuff and it's just like the most normal thing. Rocks, seeds. Well, yeah, they're hamsters. That makes sense. But I'm just a big fan of that kind of stuff. Even like the little items and stuff like that. Like I think it's all just aesthetics too. Like I remember at one point I bought like a little piece of clothing or something like that. I'm getting my guy a chef hat because he's always cooking. After wandering around, getting to try the little gameplay and stuff, seeing all the cute animations, the little hamster guy's got quite a bit of a personality, like even when he gets dirty or when he does the wrong thing, like he has like a lot of animations that you wouldn't have expected. Yeah, I kind of figured like, okay, you know what, like I've got 2 hours basically before we hit 4 o'clock. We only have 30 minutes now as of me filming this. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to get all 12 hamsters along with 86 catchphrases in my little hamster book. So I knew I wasn't going to hit it, but I'm really glad I got to play this. It was a lot of fun. And as a matter of fact, I think this could be a fun game to finish maybe like on a live stream, like set up like a live stream in the future where we just try to get everything else in the game. It's unfortunately not something that maybe I could have cleared in a day if I had like enough knowledge ahead of time, but I just, found it in Japanese. I was assuming something quick because it was a handheld game, but no dice, but still walked away with a really fun experience. I thought it was great. Presentation was fun. It's just, yeah, very feel good comfort game. There's no consequences. You're just wandering around hamster world, go nuts, literally. But let me know if a live stream sounds good to you. I may set it up anyways. I don't need your guys' input to play the cute hamster game. No, but I think it'd be a lot of fun. But that's about it for Hamsters, Hamtaro, Ham Unite, whatever the subtitle is, I can't recall. I think I'd like to do another one of these challenges maybe next week. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I don't know if I'll go back to Book Off or if I'll try like an antique store or something like that. I think that's about all of my thoughts though. Cleared the first mission for sure. Again, let me know if you'd also agree to like a live stream of the rest of the game. Maybe we can't do like all of the game, in one session, but maybe we could break it up into a couple of live streams. I think that'd be kind of fun. I was trying to see like how long it would take other people to beat it, and some playthroughs were like 4 hours long. So I was like, okay, I think I made the right call here. But this was definitely a fun challenge. Got me to try a game I would have definitely not have tried otherwise. How obscure is that? Hamtaro for the Game Boy Color. Feel free to like and subscribe, of course. YouTube loves that kind of stuff. They love they love activity, and I think it'll encourage them to say, hey, Vic, go on some more adventures, try to find some more classic games out there and see if you can uncover some hidden gems in an old school, like swap meet type of way. But yeah, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching up to this point. If you have, challenge failed, but a lovely friendship with a nice little rodent friend gained. Really, at the end of the day, isn't your cute furry friends all that matters in this life? Life is truly fleeting.